welcome you and refer you to the program of the day. Today, Uganda listens to you. And today, you rise not as individuals chasing privilege, but as torchbearers of the new dawn. We are gathered here to witness a wonderful journey of building a new political home after intentional and deliberate political turbulence at your former home. Today's gathering has the most experienced, most tested political leaders in Uganda that you can find in any one gathering. And the citizens out there are hopeful that your experience, your wisdom that has been tested at several fronts, can deliver something new for this country. I know that the leadership gathered here at PFF and your allies, the ANT, you are not here to bow systems that oppress people, but to boldly reshape them with courage, vision, voice, and hope for the people. For too long, our politics has been stained by violence, by greed, by fear, and by the greater silence of the population. I hope this won't happen anymore. This front, your front, the the PFF was born out of pain of the continuous political manipulation, disruption by the powers that be. People have no or limited voter education. I have not seen myself any voter education going on in this country. I was introduced as a chairperson of the Global Network for Domestic Election Observers, and I observe elections global-wide, but I've been denied accreditation to do voter education. And I will not apply for observation to embarrass myself, because voter education is less critical. Critical national civil society organizations have been blocked by the people with powers to accredit. I'm sure you are also aware that critical media organizations are facing a blockade on national functions where the president is appearing, mainly NBS, Daily Monitor, and NTV. A blockade on programs involving taxpayers' money. So what will happen during campaigns if you don't fight that? If we don't fight that, because we are fighting the blockade, we want the political parties who are main actors in elections to fight the blockade, to fight illegalities, a blockade against civil society with no explanation. Our organization has not had any explanation from Electoral Commission as to why there is a blockade on our organization. I'm sure the media have no explanation on why there is a blockade on programs that involve taxpayers' money, that involve their money. We request that you demand for answers as PFF. We shall not have sins of the military in this election. We trust your leadership. The committee that you've put together, Honorable Afra Gen.Mugisha Muntu, let your committees demand that Ugandans receive an election as envisaged in the Constitution. The military has no role in our elections. We must collectively demand that the UPDF must stay at our borders, not at polling stations. Plus other like-minded actors can set up a strong think tank and a strong strategic leadership team that will meaningfully push back against the excesses of the regime and demand that the power of the people must be restored as envisaged in Article 1 of the Constitution. This is not only people have no or limited voter education. I have not seen myself any voter education going on in this country. I was introduced as a chairperson of the Global Network for Domestic Election Observers, and I observe elections global-wide, but I've been denied accreditation to do voter education, and I will not apply for observation to embarrass myself, because voter education is less critical. Critical national civil society organizations have been blocked by the people with powers to accredit. I'm sure you are also aware that critical media organizations are facing a blockade on national functions where the president is appearing, mainly NBS, Daily Monitor, and NTV. A blockade on programs involving taxpayers' money. So what will happen during campaigns if you don't fight that? If we don't fight that, because we are fighting the blockade, we want the political parties who are main actors in elections to fight the blockade, to fight illegalities, a blockade against civil society with no explanation. Our organization has not had any explanation from Electoral Commission as to why there is a blockade on our organization. I'm sure the media have no explanation on why there is a blockade on programs that involve taxpayers' money, that involve their money. We request that you demand for answers as PFF. We shall not have sins of the military in this election. We trust your leadership. The committee that you've put together, Honorable Afra Gen.Mugisha Muntu, let your committees demand that Ugandans receive an election as envisaged in the Constitution. The military has no role in our elections. We must collectively demand that the UPDF must stay at our borders, not at polling stations. Plus other like-minded actors can set up a strong think tank and a strong strategic leadership team that will meaningfully push back against the excesses of the regime and demand that the power of the people must be restored as envisaged in Article 1 of the Constitution. This is not only freedom for all, freedom for all, all for freedom, all for freedom, freedom for all. Chitegezo kuliziganya, wata kubesimu tukate kuangalina.
Then he has deputies. Deputies Honorable Nicholas Kamara. Honorable Togman Okelo. Hon Betty Awo. Honorable Lume Baiga. The Secretary General and Head of National Mobilization Party spokesperson, Honorable Ibrahim Sebuju Nganda. We have also commissioned
of the People's Front for Freedom Party under Article 18 of the party constitution, and do hereby proclaim the launch of the party and adopt this constitution and the leadership formed here under. The leadership was, I read it again. The executive is Chairperson Elias Lukwago, Deputy Nicholas Theodius Kamara, Albert Odman Okelo, Bet Awol Lulume Baiga. The Secretary General and Chief Mobilizer and Spokesperson, Honorable Ibrahim Semujunganda, and is deputized by Kenneth Okelo and Harold Kaija. Social Services, Ingrid Runaiwe, Turinawe, and deputies Joan Nawatanzi and Robert Onega. Economic Affairs Commission of the People's Front for Freedom Party under Article 18 of the party constitution, and do hereby proclaim the launch of the party and adopt this constitution and the leadership formed here under. The leadership was, I read it again. The executive is Chairperson Elias Lukwago, Deputy Nicholas Theodius Kamara, Albert Oldman Okelo, Bet Awol Lulume Baiga. The Secretary General and Chief Mobilizer and Spokesperson, Honorable Ibrahim Semujunganda, and is deputized by Kenneth Okelo and Harold Kaija. Social Services, Ingrid Runaiwe, Turinawe, and deputies Joan Nawatanzi and Robert Onega. Economic Affairs Commission.
I don't need to elaborate. It has not been an easy journey. We navigated through a rigid and perilous political terrain right from August 2024 until 15 June 2025, when we officially received our certificate of registration. That is a journey worth celebrating and it's a huge milestone. I am indeed elated as an individual to have led the interim leadership that guided us through this roller coaster journey. In a special way, I wish to thank you, comrades, for entrusting us, myself and the team, with such a gigantic and challenging duty of steering this process, and in the same vein, to gesture my gratitude to the entire team that has fought valiantly during the registration exercise. The team headed by the Honorable Wafro Gutu, for those, thank you very, very much for the job well done. Whereas such troops, basing on a well-defined criteria under our party constitution and the guidelines, you are going to be deployed as battlefront troops, not people to occupy space, not people to occupy positions. So carve out your territory and say you are commander of that particular territory. You are commander of a cell, a commander of a village, a commander of a parish, a commander of a sub-county, a commander of a city, a commander of a district, a national commander. All of you are commanders in your respective areas. On this note, permit me to express my sincere gratitude to the Honorable Kabaziguru and his team for spearheading this particular process once again. The electoral commission is there. You can grant big forms. The exercise is ongoing. Please go and get vetted. However, it should not escape.
Dr. Besigye. I want the people of Rukunjili to salute retired Colonel Dr. Besigye. Freedom for all! election to freedom for all. All for freedom. Freedom for all. All for freedom. Yes, can we?
Besigye, I want us to talk about our country. It's quite bad right now. We have a country where most of our young people have no jobs, where we have a lot of people in poverty, poor services, poor education, poor health care, poor infrastructure, and people that are now in a country that is so richly endowed, people are having no food to eat. People are dying of hunger. All these problems and more have come about because of how we have managed our country. Our country has a lot of resources, but those resources are not serving its people. So that's why we have people that are in trouble, that are in suffering, while the resources are there in the country. How has this come about? And how? But that has never changed leaders peacefully. All our leaders have come into power using guns, using force, through war, causing death of many people, destroying even what infrastructure and properties have been built over the years. Now, the violent changes have meant that we, the people, have no control over the governments. Governments do what they like, and we cannot influence what is going on for our benefit. When elections are held, they are held simply to show that some people may be participating, but as we all know, the voices of the people are not respected during elections. Indeed, that is why the current regime had a war lasting 5 years that started after an election, a rigged election. And that's how all elections have been. So the situation, once you are in a country where a few people control the country without being under the control of the greatest majority of the people, that situation is called a dictatorship, which brought Mr. Museveni to power. The Bush War that involved many people in our country is a form of violent struggle. That struggle can lead to a dictator being removed. Indeed, when Museveni came to power, it was through such a struggle. However, we must understand that our struggle now cannot be just to remove a dictator. What we need is beyond removing a dictator, because the Museveni struggle removed a dictator but did not solve the problem. We must replace a dictator with a system where people have power, have control over decision making, over institutions, over resources, over information. So the end of the struggle should not be the removal of the dictator. It should be the installation of people as the ones in charge, not installation of another dictator. Therefore, whereas armed struggle leads to removal of a dictator, it is inappropriate in building a democratic society. That is why we have deliberately considered that our struggle now must focus on use of non-violent means. Non-violent struggle is a very potent struggle, just like the armed struggle. In fact, it has more advantages because there are fewer casualties, you have far less
troops, basing on a well-defined criteria under our party constitution and the guidelines. You are going to be deployed as battlefront troops, not people occupying space, not people occupying positions. So carve out your territory and say you are commander of that particular territory. You are commander of a cell, or commander of a village, or commander of a parish, or commander of a sub-county, or commander of a city, or commander of a district, a national commander. All of you are commanders in your respective areas. On this note, permit me to express my sincere gratitude to the Honorable Governor and his team for spearheading this particular process once again. The Electoral Commission is there. You can grab big forms. The exercise is ongoing. Please go and get vetted. However, it should not escape